So on February 16th, President Hockfield surprised everyone when she announced that she was stepping down. And she gave reasons that were vague. And, um, and that was all she said. The Institute is now moving forward on a new set of ambitious goals. MIT has begun the crucial work of planning for a significant new fundraising campaign. So in hindsight, it's obvious that she's talking about Skokobo, that that is what MIT had organized a lot of hopes around, driven by Raphael Reif as provost, but really as Schlumberger director. And he shows his hand only once in the however many years he's been around. In the transition from President Hockfield to himself as the next president. And he does it on April 17th, 2012. And he's still provost, and he's manipulating behind the scenes the end of a 4-year effort to launch a Center for the Environment that was President Hockfield's plan. And he's going to install his own climate czar. But as everything he does is deceitful, that's not what he says. So he's sending a benign letter to the community. I am pleased to accept the report of the Environmental Research Council. So this is who he is. He says the exact opposite of what he's actually doing. What he's actually doing is buried here in the middle of nowhere when he appoints Maria Zuber to write the report that he wants. So she obliges. By November, she's written a report ostensibly to implement the 4-year program from the environmental faculty. But in reality, she rewrites it entirely for their corrupt, fraudulent fossil fuel goals. And it's this the whole thing is repulsive and childish, but it's this one paragraph where she recommends that MIT environmental researchers focus on a 5-year time frame. And she tells them so MIT can demonstrate to the world that research on the environment can both help society and create opportunities, but not impinge on fossil fuels, not indicate anything larger, not actually solve anything, give the appearance of doing something. And that's all these people are trying to do, is give the appearance of doing something. That's the mission. That's what they're paid from the fossil companies to do, to circumvent, to waylay, to undermine, and not as a progressional path to something. It's only about fossil fuels. It's only about money for them. And then she actually writes a piece of propaganda to help people sell it. And this is how they've sold everything they've done since: to lead the world in innovative, unbiased, solutions oriented research on environmental challenges with a firm grounding in science. So, this, I just want to screen with something, is what they're doing. And the only people who could have spoken out about this are the senior faculty who spent 4 years working on a report that Provost Reif is in the process of destroying. So these are the people who know perfectly well, and each one of them walks away. They don't say a single word to anyone, to President Hockfield, to anything, because they made a fundamental mistake. Their fundamental mistake is that they thought MIT's Board of Trustees were behind this, and they thought there was nothing they could do. They had no clue that this was a power move from Schlumberger and Provost Reif. And it was coupled with the 300 million from Russia. Um, so when President Hockfield, she had she had every right not to involve MIT in Russia, with the risks of espionage, with the risks of physical harm to students if they protest. She raised $3 billion. 3 million is not relevant to her. Um,